host, Juan the Don, and this is the Wrestling Matters Podcast, Episode 7. And today we're doing an NCAA wrestling preview. March Madness, the brackets are out, and this weekend, the Division I NCAA tournament is happening for wrestling, okay? So let's get right into it today. We're going to go over the brackets, the top 8 seeds, early matchups, and then our overall predictions for each weight. I'm very excited. The wrestling will be on ESPN this weekend. The actual full schedule's on our Facebook page. And then I'll post them soon on our Instagram before the weekend gets started. So you guys will know where to see wrestling. The finals will be on ESPN. And then before that, we'll have the early rounds will be on ESPNU, ESPNUs, or ESPN3. So we'll get that all available to you guys. This is going to be the perfect weekend to see some NCAA wrestling. We'll also get into the team scores. You know, Iowa's the big favorite. Penn State looms, Virginia Tech, Arizona State, watch out for. So it's the title race isn't as interesting as some years, but all these brackets are exciting. So with no further avail, we're going to get right into it today. We're not going to mess around. The 2021 NCAA Division I wrestling brackets were released, and we're going to go over some of our reactions. At 125 pounds, the top 8 seeds. The number 1 seed is Spencer Lee of Iowa. Your number 2 seed is Sam Latona of Virginia Tech. Your number 3 seed is Brandon Courtney from Arizona State. Your number 4 seed is Drew Hildebrandt from Central Michigan. Your number 5 seed is Brody Teske of Northern Iowa. And we'll get into that. That's interesting because Teske is a transfer from Penn State. And if you really calculate his points, if Teske was still in Penn State would have a better shot at closing in on Iowa, but we'll get into that later. Your number 6 seed is Jacob Camacho from North Carolina State. The 7 seed is Taylor Lamont from Utah Valley. And your number 8 seed is Rayvon Foley, the All-American from Michigan State. Okay, at 125, a couple early matchups. We have the 10 and the 7 seed wrestling second round, and that's going to be Malik Heinzelman versus Taylor Lamont. I'm very interested. I think the guy that wins that can make a little run here. It's going to be tough though. But that's the first round match. That's the second round match that I'm most interested in as far as early matches go. At 125, I'm going to take a look at the 10 and the 7 seed Malik Heinzelman and Taylor Lamont if they hit in the second round. That'll be a fun match. My predictions for 125. Here at the Wrestling Matters Podcast, it looks like Spencer Lee via domination. I would be more excited if there was a bigger field here when the Ivy Leagues get back. I don't know if Pat Glory or Vito Arujau could give Spencer Lee a match, but for now, we're going to take Spencer Lee. And in the final, I have him beating Brandon Courtney from Arizona State. That is of note because Arizona State has a few dogs in this fight. They have a few guys that can really contend for the whole thing, and they have a few guys that I think that could potentially make some runs to the finals. So look out for Brandon Courtney in Arizona State because he's going to have a chance as number 3 seed to get it popped off right and early for them. And if he can make the finals, that puts them in a good position to try to get on the podium as far as a team trophy goes for Arizona State. Okay, moving along to 133 pounds. Your number 1 seed is Dayton Fix of Oklahoma State. Dayton Fix is a freestyle stud, world-class guy. He's the clear number 1 seed here, even though he didn't wrestle that much in the season. He's the big dog, and he's the favorite. Your number 2 seed is Roman Bravo Young, the Big Ten champ from Penn State. In order for Penn State to continue their dominance and have a shot at winning this, or to seal up that second place trophy, Roman Bravo Young is going to have to do his part and really perform this weekend. Your number 3 seed is Corbin Myers from Virginia Tech. 4 seed fan favorite Austin Santo of Iowa. He brings the pace and the energy. Your 5 seed is Mickey Philippi of Pittsburgh. The 6 seed is Matt Schmidt of Missouri. Your 7 seed is Lucas Bird of Illinois. And your number 8 seed is Chris Cannon from Northwestern. 133 is down a bit. I'm not credit to these young men for their seeding, but 133 isn't nearly as deep as it has been in the past couple of years. Another thing here is look at Austin DeSanto. Can these guys get on a run and potentially bump DeSanto down so that he has a low placing or does an All-American and can tighten up the team score, or will Iowa just run away with it? Looking at this bracket, looking at these seeds in the bracket, I think DeSanto could finish as high as 3rd, and I think that he could finish as low as 8th or the round of 12. But these little details will be essential for Iowa to get their first team title in about a decade now, and to get Penn State off of their reign of dominance over the last decade. So at 133, your top 5 seeds are pretty solid, and there's a little bit of drop off with Matt Schmidt, Lucas Bird, and Chris Cannon, but they're still all very capable. Early matchups, nothing too intriguing. I want to see what happens in the Austin DeSanto versus Mickey Philippi quarterfinal, right? Because that depends on who gets sent to the backside and who will draw in the round of 12. So I'm interested in that quarterfinal match between DeSanto and Philippi. Philippi has a nice technique. He's very slick, and he's good on top. DeSanto's a hammer, and he comes driving forward. So I'm interested to see how those styles clash and what will be the result of that. So that's the match I'm looking for. My prediction here, a bit of an upset. People won't be too happy with this, but I have Roman Bravo Young over Dayton Fix. Score 6-5 approximately. Could be higher, could be lower, but I think RBY gets it done. And I think that that's a part of being at Penn State, is winning national titles. So you got to get at least one. And I think this is the year for RBY to do it. Fix is good. He's the favorite. I don't think he's had a lot of matches in. I think RBY is world class as well. And I think this is going to be one of the most exciting finals of the weekend. And that's going to be, as predicted, Roman Bravo Young of Penn State against Dayton Fix from Oklahoma State. That's going to be a fun one. At 141, your number 1 seed is Jaden the Riddler Ironman from Iowa. This guy is a freak. Some of his counter offense, his reattacks, his hips, his pressure. Ironman's a problem. If you're shooting on him, he's probably going to put you on your back, or he's going to score. And it's been evident in this season. And you're going to have nearly perfect technique and positioning. We're going to have a very good game plan in order to beat Jaden Ironman. I think he's the strong favorite here, and rightfully so. Your number 2 seed is Nick Lee from Penn State. Your number 3 seed is Sebastian Rivera from Rutgers. Your number 4 seed is Tariq Wilson of NC State. 5 seed is Dom Demas from Oklahoma. Your number 6 seed is Alan Hart of Missouri. Your 7 seed is Ian Parker, Iowa State. And your number 8 seed is Chad Redd of Nebraska. I think Chad Redd is seated a little low here. I don't really understand how Chad Redd gets the 8. I think he should be the 6th seed ahead of Alan Hart. I think he could be ahead of Dom Demas even. It depends on what all we're factoring into the seeds, but this is a deeper field here than 133, and this is one of the deepest weights that there is so far is 141. And it's going to be very exciting. Look for those top 3 to probably separate themselves with Ironman, Nick Lee, and Rivera. The only reason I don't say that is because Chad Redd has had close matches. He lost to Seabass 4-3 for 3rd place at Big Tens, and he's had close matches with Nick Lee in the past. So look at Chad Redd to get himself into the mix. The only thing is he's going to have, I believe, a quarterfinal match with Jaden Ironman, which has proven to be a bad matchup for him. But Chad Redd always steps up at NCAA, so I'll be looking to watch him wrestle this weekend. He's always exciting. Early matchups. I believe Real Woods has the 21 seed. That's insane. He's probably a top 5 guy when healthy, under the right circumstances. He's probably a top 5 guy. Definitely a top 8, I would guess, guy here, even though this is a deep weight. But early matchups. Round 2, Dom Demas versus Real Woods from Stanford. That's a barn burner. I don't know what to expect there. as far as recruits coming up, I almost feel like Real Woods had a higher expectations, but Dom Demas is an All-American already, and he has an exciting style where he scores a lot of points, and that's gonna be a problem. That's a semifinal. If you close your eyes ahead of the season and you look and you think Real Woods versus Demas, you think that's a semifinal or quarterfinal, not a second round match. So good luck to whoever draws into the loser of that on the back side of the bracket, trying to get back to the round of 12. Good luck. My predictions here at 141, I'm going to go a little unorthodox here. This is tough to predict because when you look at such a big bracket, when you look at a 32-man bracket, that's something as big as NCAA's, you kind of know that it can't go chalk, so you don't want to, it's like something's going to happen. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I'll take a guess. But chances are something bigger is going to happen than I can predict. I don't want to lean out on the ledge and pick something crazy and then be way off, but I mean, hey, I'm allowed to do that. But I'll take Seabass to win the weight. I think Seabass, he has to be an NCAA champ at some point. You know, he's beaten Spencer Lee twice, multiple-time Big Ten champ. He's beaten RBY, Roman Bravo Young. He's beaten Seth Gross. I think Seabass finally gets it done. I'm intrigued to see how he looks against Ironman. I don't know if his size will be a factor here, because he was formerly a 25-pounder and a 33-pounder, now up at 41, versus someone like Ironman could have never considered being a 25-pounder. I don't know if he's just a bigger human being, but I'm excited to see. I think Seabass gets his revenge on Nick Lee in the semis, and I think he sees Ironman in the finals. Tariq Wilson could prove issues for Ironman, but we'll see. I'm definitely interested at 141. It's one of the most exciting weights in the tournament. Definitely tune in this weekend to watch. Predictions. Yeah, I'll say Seabass over Ironman, and I will go 7-6 Seabass over Ironman in the final at 141. That's going to be our prediction for today. Okay, guys, let's go to 149. And at 149, your number one seed is Sami Sasso of Ohio State. He's one of my favorite wrestlers to watch. Very exciting guy. Charisma on the mat. He brings a certain spunk to the sport that is appreciated. And he's one of those guys very exciting because he's very aggressive when you attack him. So Sasso's your number one seed. Your 2 seed is Austin O'Connor of North Carolina. 3 seed Brock Mahler from Missouri. 4 seed Boo Luann of Oklahoma State. Your 5 seed is Ridge Lovett of Nebraska. And your 6 seed is Bryce Andonian of Virginia Tech. 7 seed is Jonathan Milner of Appalachian State. And your 8 seed is Jaden Abbas of Stanford. Yeah, I'll say this. That Jonathan Milner kid is good from Appalachian State. I've seen him. I've had my eyes on him. I knew that wasn't the biggest school, but I knew he was good. For him to have the 7th seed, that's pretty impressive out of Appalachian State. Some good guys here. Some good guys here at 149. A lot of different styles. We have guys that like to scramble. We got guys that like to shoot. Guys that like to throw. If you go to Andoni and Lovett, they like they've had Greco success, freestyle success. So I'm interested. Early matchups. Second round, undefeated Sami Sasso versus PJ Ugunsanya, who I believe is undefeated as well. I'll have to double check that. But PJ Ugunsanya is tough, and that's a tough second round match for Sami Sasso. Also in the second round, you have All-Americans hitting in Jarrett Deacon of Iowa State and Austin O'Connor of North Carolina. I think that could be issues for Austin O'Connor. He's the number 2 seed, but I don't necessarily know how I feel about him in the second round against Jarrett Deacon. I know Deacon is dangerous. He's a pinner. We'll see how healthy he is and how the match goes. I know that's going to be an interesting one. My overall prediction, I'm going to say Sami Sasso wins this weight. Can't really convince me differently. There's no way that I don't follow up with you guys next week and Sami Sasso isn't the 149-pound champ. I just don't see it. I'll say that he beats Brock Mahler in the finals just because I think O'Connor has a more dangerous route and is more likely to get upset on his way to the semis or the finals. But I'm going to say Sasso by fall over Mahler. I think Mahler will try to scramble with him, and I think Sasso sticks him. And he sets the tone and separates himself for what he is. At 157 pounds, we have your number one seed is Ryan Deacon of Northwestern University. Ryan Deacon's awesome. He hasn't lost a match in 2 years. He was undefeated last year, Big Ten champ. Undefeated this year, Big Ten champ. Didn't have a season last year, so he didn't get to put his number one seed on the line. But Ryan Deacon is the man, and he continues to have success in folk style and freestyle, and look for him to try to get his first national title this weekend. Your number two seed is Hayden Heidly of NC State. This is a guy who's really good. He's had success on the freestyle and folk style circuit, and he's a college All-American as well. And some people said that they thought he'd beaten off a couple years ago in the semis, I believe. So he's tough. He's right there. He's not going to back down anything. Hayden Heidly, good heavy hands. He's a hammer. He's going to be right there. Your number three seed is David Carr, who's undefeated and has looked dominant as well. I think those three guys separate themselves, and those three are your clear top three. Deacon, Heidly, and Carr at 157. Those guys are ridiculous. Your four seed is Jesse Delvecchia from Ryder. Your five seed is Caleb Young of Iowa. The sixth seed is Brayton Lee of Minnesota. The seventh seed is Jared Jaquez of Missouri. And your eighth seed is Jared Franick of North Dakota State. All right. Early matchups. In round two, we have Junior World Champ Will Luann of Michigan University versus Junior World Champ David Carr of Iowa State University. So, wow, not very often you have two Junior World Champs wrestling each other in the second round of the NCAA tournament. That's going to be tough. Will Luann could potentially have an upset there, but I like David Carr. But Luann's not going anywhere. He's game. He's gonna give people problems in this bracket, especially considering he's not a top 8 seed, but he's gonna fight for an All-American spot. Also, in round two, you have Jacory Teamer versus Brayton Lee. That's a rematch that I actually saw up close in the high school All-Star Classic at Brownsburg High School. It was a great match, Brayton Lee versus Jacory Teamer. And Brayton Lee won that in high school. I believe Jacory Teamer redeemed that loss at the Midlands a couple years ago while they were in red shirt. And that's going to be fireworks, and that's probably going to be a one-point match when you talk about Jacory Teamer versus Brayton Lee. Also in the second round, we have Brady Berge from Penn State versus Caleb Young from Iowa. That's another very important one. If Caleb Young wins that, we can wrap up the team race. I think Iowa has it. In order for Penn State to keep this interesting, you're going to have Berge beat Young in the second round at 157. Predictions, I think it's probably one of the crazier weights, just with the depth through with Luann and Teamer and Lee and Berge and Young. I think it's the deepest weight. I don't know exactly what will happen with the top three, but give me the pedigree of David Carr, and I'll probably say David Carr over Ryan Deacon 5-4 in the final is a prediction. But if Ryan Deacon walked through everybody, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised because that's kind of how he's looked this year. 165 pounds, your number one seed is Alex Marinelli from Iowa. Your number two seed is Anthony Valencia from Arizona State. Your number three seed is Jake Wenzel from Pittsburgh. Your number four seed is Makai Lewis from Virginia Tech, who is a returning national champion. Your five seed is Zach Hartman from Bucknell. Your sixth seed is Keegan O'Toole from Missouri. The number 7 seed is Ethan Smith from Ohio State. And your 8th seed is Shane Griffith from Stanford. Early matchups. 22 versus 11 seed. Kennedy Monday versus Cam Amin. First round. The winner gets Keegan O'Toole. That's an insane little mini bracket that we're going to look at. Amin versus Monday. You want to talk about wrestling families. They both have families. They both have members in their family that are Olympians. They both have eligibility left, and they're good in their own right. So a mean and Monday first round is awesome. I don't know what's gonna happen. The winner gets Keegan O'Toole. That's insane. So this is that's definitely gonna be a fun one at 165. My prediction overall, I don't know how healthy he is. I heard Mekhi Lewis is hurt. I haven't watched him wrestle this year, so I'll have to admit that I don't know how hurt he is. But with him being the returning national champion, give me Mekhi Lewis. In the semis, he should see Marinelli, who he's beaten at the tournament before. I'll say Lewis until further notice. And I see another upset, too, possibly looming. I'm going to say Mekhi Lewis over Ethan Smith in the final. And I think the score will be about 5-3 for Mekhi Lewis if he's healthy enough to get it done. If he's not healthy, he could potentially slip, But I think Ethan Smith from Ohio State, who has previously beaten the 2-seed Anthony Valencia of Arizona State, I think he can repeat that and try to get through and make it to the finals and assert himself in that lineup for the Buckeyes. And it really has to matter for Ethan Smith. You want to do well and try to make that final, because you got to think his backup, Carson Karchula, well, not his backup. He was the backup to Carson Karchula. Karchula tears his ACL, but Karchula had beat up on Mekhi Lewis in some freestyle before he got injured. So Karchula enters the lineup next year on the level, and so does Ethan Smith. So Ohio State has to figure out how we fit these guys in, and also these guys have to perform. So Romero, Smith, Sasso, show me something now. What have you done for me lately? NCAA tournaments this weekend. Go Bucks. I don't know. But yeah, at 165, we'll take Mekhi Lewis until further notice. Marinelli, looking for Marinelli. Marinelli, he's had the 1 seed multiple times. Look for Marinelli to impose his will and try to get it done. And that's another one situation where it probably seals it up for Iowa if Marinelli goes ahead and finishes and does his deed and gets the national champion at 165. At 174 pounds, you have your number 1 seed is Michael Kimmerer from Iowa. The 2 seed is Demetrius Romero from Utah Valley. 3 seed Carter Starachi of Penn State. 4 seed Mikey Labriola of Nebraska. Your 5 seed is Logan Massa of Michigan. Your 6 seed is Andrew McNally of Kent State. Your 7 seed Caleb Romero of Ohio State. And your 8 seed Daniel Bullard of NC State. All right. Early matchups. Watch out for Donnell Washington versus Bullard in round 2. I believe is that a 9-8 match? Look out for Donnell Washington versus Daniel Bullard in the second round. That's going to be a great match. Quarterfinal matches to look out for. All-Americans Logan Massa versus Labriola. That's going to be a good one. My prediction is that Michael Kimmerer wins. I believe he faces the winner of Caleb Romero and Carter Starachi in the finals. I think Romero-Starachi 3 could be interesting. Look for Starachi to get out, but I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb Romero found a way to pull it off. Like I said, if he wants to stay in the starting lineup, he might want to do something spectacular this weekend just because Karchula looms in the back and Ethan Smith is wrestling well. But yeah, my prediction for 174 is Kimmerer. Michael Kimmerer from Iowa, the All-American. He's been very dominant. I don't really see anyone getting to him. It would take a major upset for him to lose. At 184 pounds, your number 1 seed is Aaron Brooks, AB all day from Penn State. The 2 seed is Trent Heidly of NC State. The 3 seed is Lou Dupre of Binghamton. Your 4 seed is Parker Kekaisen of UNI. The 5 seed is Hunter Boland from Virginia Tech. The 6 seed, John Poznansky of Rutgers. The 7 seed, Britt Wilson of Northern Illinois. And your 8 seed is Taylor Vins from Nebraska. All right. Interesting seeding. I thought John Poznansky from Rutgers was a little high. He's a 6 seed. I'd have to look more into his season. I don't know who all he lost to, but that's good for him. I believe I heard he's a true freshman. I think they said he was blind in one eye on the Big Ten Network. But he's had a great year. He's been doing pretty well. And for a true freshman to have a 6th seed at a weight like 184, I don't know if he gets enough attention. We might have to keep an eye on him because that could potentially be a problem. Because that's a high seed. I thought Hunter Bolin was a little low. The 5 seed, he only has 1 loss of the season to the 2 seed. Thought he could have been the 3 or the 4. Hunter Bolin from Virginia Tech, he's the 5 seed. He'll figure it out. Early matchups. Hunter Bolin versus Nelson Brands. That's going to be a tough one. Look for Bolin to get the win, but Brands, if Iowa wants to lock it up, Brands can beat Bolin and get a big push for Iowa as far as points go. But yeah, my prediction for 184, I think that Aaron Brooks wins the national title for Penn State. He puts bonus points along the way and continues to build the tradition there at Penn State and a staple of success, winning national title. He's already a 2-time Big Ten champ, so look for Aaron Brooks to get it done. I say he probably wrestles Trent Heidly from NC State in the finals, and it'll be interesting for sure. I think Brooks wins pretty handily against, I don't care. I'd say he probably wins maybe 9-6, 9-5, something like that. I think he's one of the better guys on the feet in the country. All right, at 197 pounds, your number 1 seed is Olympian Miles Amin of Michigan University. He qualified for the Olympic spot for his home country of San Marino. He wrestles out of Michigan. He's the 1 seed. Your 2 seed is Eric Schultz from Nebraska. The 3 seed is Cordell Norfleet from Arizona State. Your 4 seed is AJ Ferrari from Oklahoma State. Your 5 seed is Jacob Warner from Iowa. Your 6 seed is Nino Bonacorsi from Pittsburgh. 7 seed Rocky Elam from Missouri. And your 8 seed is Stephen Buchanan from Wyoming University. Rocky Elam versus Jake Woodley, round 1. That's going to be interesting. Both guys have had freestyle success, age-level success, and they're both pretty good. So whenever you see Elam versus Woodley, round 1, that's going to be tough. That's going to be a barn burner. Round 2, Jacob Warner versus Lucas Davison. That's going to be a grit of a match, too. Those guys are both tough. They're both going to be looking All-American. My predictions for 197 might be a little bit wilder than some people would like. I'll say don't sleep on Ferrari and don't sleep on Noah Adams. I think he could wrestle back to 3rd. I think he could upset Buchanan and rerun the table like he was expected to last year. But I'll say give me Cordell Norfleet of Arizona State. I think Arizona State makes a big push here, and they're going to score a lot of points. And I look to see, I'll predict Cordell Norfleet beating Miles Amin in the final. I like the 3 seed Norfleet. I saw him wrestle live in the duel last year, Arizona State versus Ohio State, and he wrestled Colin Moore pretty tough. I don't see anyone in this bracket that could really hang with a Colin Moore, but I know Norfleet has. So give me Norfleet. All right, moving on to 285 heavyweight. Your number 1 seed is Gable Stevenson from Minnesota. And that's actually all. Next topic. No one's beating Gable. No one's beating Gable Stevenson in wrestling. No one in the United States. Not in folk style. Not a college kid. I'm sorry, guys. And I'm going to tell you, I'm gonna say it just like this. If you're hoping for Mason Paris or Colton Schultz or Cassiope or somebody or Kirk Vliet or someone to have a heroic performance and step up at NCAAs, forget about it. Gable Stevenson is a lock, just like Spencer Lee is a lock. I got Gable winning it. Sorry. Argue with me in the comments. 2 seed Mason Paris, Michigan. Mason Paris is a stud, junior world champ, All-American. He's a stud. I would hope that he could wrestle a better match against Gable Stevenson than he did in the Big Ten Finals, but I don't see how that match could be any different unless Gable chose for it to be. The 3 seed is Matt Stencil from Central Michigan. 4 seed Colton Schultz, Arizona State. Watch out for Colton Schultz. He's my sleeper here. It sucks that he's a 4 seed because he'll have Gable in the semis if he gets there, but I like Schultz. I think he's going to be a problem. 5 seed Tony Cassiope from Iowa. 6 seed G. Gannon Grimmel from Iowa State. Your 7th seed is Ethan Laird from Rider. And your 8th seed is Jordan Wood from Lehigh. Early matchups. Round 2. Kirk Vliet from Penn State versus Jordan Wood from Lehigh. That's a rematch of the U23 Finals, best 2 out of 3. So I'm interested whenever I see that. 2 guys who are fighting for age-level world teams hitting each other in NCAA. It's round 2. Let's do it. Also, I'll be excited to see a Colton Schultz, who's our Greco representative for the United States, versus Cassiope in the quarterfinals. You know, that's another one of those situations where if Arizona State wants to make things interesting and Penn State wants to have a chance, you kind of need Schultz to beat Cassiope in order for Iowa not to run away with it. But all right. As far as predictions, okay, I'll overreact a little bit, but either way, guys, I'm going to take Gable Stevenson by domination over Mason Parris until further notice. I'm hoping that Parris close the distance, is able to fire off some of his own offense, maybe score, and make it an interesting match. But I think in due time we'll see why Gable is who he is and why that match wasn't close at Big Tens. Hopefully things tighten up and we have a great NCAA final, but I don't know if I can guarantee you that for you guys, you know. But there you guys go. I'll try to clip some of the brackets in here, and I'll have another episode soon for you guys, catching us up on UFC updates and what we have going on with that as far as the grappling and MMA world. Wrestling fans, I'm sorry I was gone. Been going through a lot, busy with the off-season for wrestling getting kicked off and doing some coaching and getting in shape myself, but we're back here to give you another episode, and this is your NCAA preview. Stay tuned. Follow the Instagram. Follow us on Facebook, guys. If you have any questions, comments, topics you want us to talk about, feel free to email us and let us know. Thank you.